Okay, this is the myofascial spiral line, and this line creates a loop around the body in two opposite circles to the right and left. In terms of movement, spiral line oblique spirals and rotations in the body. In eccentric and isometric contraction, it stabilizes the trunk to avoid rotational collapse. So we're going to start at the top. And first we have the occipital ridge, and then it travels down to the mastoid process or the atlas, and the axis transfer processes. Then we have the splenius capitis and cervicis, and then it travels to the lower cervical and upper thoracic spinous processes. Then it goes to the rhomboids major and minor, to the medial border of the scapula, and then down and around to the serratus anterior, which then goes to the lateral ribs, to the external oblique, and then to the abdominal aponeurosis or the linea alba. And then we travel to the internal oblique. Next is the iliac crest or the ASIS. Then the tensor fasciae latae, the lateral tibia condyle, the tibialis anterior, to the first metatarsal base, to the fibularis longus, up to the fibular head, to the biceps femoris, to the ischial tuberosity, to the sacrotuberous ligament, to the sacrum, to the sacrolumbar fascia or erector spinae, to the occipital ridge. Okay, so here we have the myofascial back line. This line connects and protects the entire rear side as a back shield, from the toes to the knees and from the knees to the eyebrows. The superficial dorsal line prevents fetal position and keeps the body upright. We are born huddled together, but with maturity and development, the superficial dorsal line, its muscles are strengthened until we have a strong upright position with a raised head. So this ensures that the body has proper balance and posture. So we are starting with the frontalis muscle, working our way to the gallia aponeurotica, to the occipitalis, down to the traps, down to the erector spinae muscle group, to the thoracolumbar fascia, down to the sacrotuberous ligament, down through the hamstrings, to gastrocnemius, down to the Achilles tendon, and then to the plantar fascia.
So for the spiral myofascial line, we will do a seated twist. So you just have to sit down and cross your other leg over and push your elbow towards your knees and make a rotationary or an oblique movement. So here we have the movements for the myofascial line. So let's start with the superficial back line. So you're gonna stretch this part. So all you have to do is to do a forward fold so that you will feel all the stretch from here until your hands.
Front line connects the entire anterior surface of the body from the top of the feet to the side of the skull. So it starts with the dorsal surface of the phalanges, going to the short and long toe extensors, tibialis anterior, anterior crural compartment, moving to the tibial tuberosity. It moves to the subpatellar tendon, going to the patella, passing on the rectus femoris or quads, going to the anterior inferior iliac spine and pubic tubercle. It will go to rectus abdominis, passing on the fifth rib, sternalis or sternocondral fascia, sternocleidomastoid, sternocleidomastoid, mastoid process, and the last will be the skull fascia.
Another thing about the superficial front line is that the whole thing functions as one integrated myofascia.
The lateral line brackets each side of the body from the medial and lateral midpoint of the foot around the outside of the ankle up to the lateral aspect of the leg and thigh, passing along the trunk in a basket weave or crossed shoelace pattern under the shoulder to the skull in the region of the ear. So it starts with the first to fifth metatarsal bases, going to the fibularis muscle, lateral crural compartment, going to the fibular head. It passes to anterior ligament of the head of the fibula and lateral tibial condyle. It goes to the iliotibial tract or the abductor muscles, tensor fascia latae, gluteus maximus, iliac crest, ASIS and PSIS, going to the lateral abdominal obliques. It goes to the ribs and the external internal intercostals, going to the first and second rib, going to the sternocleidomastoid, splenius capitis, and the occipital ridge or mastoid process.
Okay, so here we have a movement for the superficial front line. I don't exactly know what it's called, but if you're not super flexible, you could start standing up and just go as far back as you can. Or if you're super flexible, I know some people can get on the floor and do like a back bridge, but I can't do that, so. So here we have a movement for the superficial lateral line. I also don't know what it's called, but if you just go from side to side, you can feel it all the way up your body and vice versa with the other side.
Something unique about both of the lines is that they come into play primarily during athletic or other activity where one appendicular complex is stabilized, counterbalanced, or powered by its contralateral complement. A postural function which is unique is their day-to-day activities opportunity to stiffen or fascially shorten to maintain postural is minimum. Something unique about the back functional line is that if you continue in the same direction, you will find fascial fibers linking from the gluteus and fascial lataris muscle. Something unique about the front functional line is that the clavipectoral fascia containing the pectoralis minor also connects to the fifth rib. The front functional line could be an extension of both the superficial and deep front arm lines.